We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. When Thomas Jefferson first penned this groundbreaking statement into our nation's declaration, was he including women too? Many may say that he wasn't thinking of women when he wrote this, and that the simple exclusion of women is merely a result of the heavily patriarchal ways of colonial America. However, the real question is, could Thomas Jefferson and the men who founded our country ever have believed that one day women would indeed have the right to independence as well? And the answer is simply and conclusively no. There's absolutely no way that the Founding Fathers could have known that one day women would have the right to vote, or the right to enter a legal contract, or even the choice to be independent from men. And that is because that story of our nation declaring its independence and that all men are created equal, is only the prequel of our nation. That story was left undone. Ladies and gentlemen, we're currently living and writing our sequel, and it's about time we include women in the sequel. When it was first proposed in 1923, the Equal Rights Amendment was introduced by Alice Paul as the next step to bringing equal justice under law. It took Congress almost 50 years just to get the bill passed, and after it was passed, only 35 states ratified it, which does not meet the requirement of ratification by 38 states in order for the bill to be included in the Constitution. Now, many opponents of the ERA stated that gender equality already exists in America, and that this bill would do nothing for the women of our country. And the reason why so many people believe that gender equality already exists in this country is because discrimination against women has become so normalized. Referring to women with sexist slurs has become part of our vernacular. Seeing women in positions of power are met with remarks such as, "She was probably born into it." And sexist jokes have made their way into our definition of good comedy. I mean, it seems ridiculous that I even have to cite evidence about discrimination on the basis of sex here. Time and time again, we've seen that women are getting paid less than men for doing the same exact jobs. The gender wage gap isn't a myth. It's real, and it's everywhere. Additionally, women account for 78.4% of the workforce in healthcare and social assistance, and yet only 19.6% of executive office positions are held by women. Additionally, only 19.4% of the seats in Congress are held by women. The list goes on and on and on. There's no secret that inequality exists between men and women in this country, and yet discrimination against women has become so widespread that many people even refuse to acknowledge it. We need the Equal Rights Amendment. We need the Equal Rights Amendment because we are not yet equal. And while it is true that women have made great strides towards equality in recent decades, the Equal Rights Amendment serves as a fundamental legal remedy against any remaining gender discrimination. Legal discrimination on the basis of sex is not yet a thing of the past. Because when the average American woman gets paid 80 cents for every dollar that a man makes doing the same exact job, we are not equal. And when the wage gap is dismissed as a myth invented by rabid feminists who can't wrap their heads around the subtlety of economics, we are not equal. And when women are ridiculed and tormented and harassed for simply wanting basic human rights, we are far from equal. The time is clearly now to wipe away the artificial distinctions between persons of different sexes from the law. Legal discrimination on the basis of sex was founded on outdated views of society. The time is clearly now to sweep away these relics of the past and set future generations free from them. In order to ensure that the ERA makes its way into our Constitution, we as advocates of gender equality must continue to do everything that we can to educate and organize politically. By calling representatives and senators, we can reintroduce this bill into legislative sessions. Additionally, the AUW and other women's rights activist organizations should revive the campaigns in favor of the ERA. Protests, calling representatives and senators, or simply just educating those around us about the importance of this bill will go an extremely long way in making sure it makes its way into our Constitution. Gender equality is not a female fight. It's a human fight. And there's no limit to the amount of fighting that we can do when we realize what we're fighting for. We're fighting for our sons and daughters, and their sons and daughters, to have the chance to live in a country of equality and prosperity, a country where every man and woman has the same exact rights and opportunities. The Declaration and Constitution that the Founding Fathers wrote was designed to benefit male citizens. There were no founding mothers, which is a great loss on their part, but it's time. It's time to pass the Equal Rights Amendment. It's time to include women in the sequel. It's not too late to complete what they've left undone.